everybody, and welcome to an episode of Props to Consider and Maybe Bet. I'm your new host, Mike. Unfortunately, Lou is taking a hiatus. He may or may not come back. We're not sure right now. So in the time being, I'll be running the show. We're going to stick to pretty much the same format. We're just going to talk about each fight and talk about any props we might like. And then at the end, we'll give our 3 favorite props. And then, of course, we'll talk about yam bags at the very end, the most important thing. So today I'm joined by 2 really dope guests, Tyler from 138 MMA and my guy Johnny from JohnnyKpicks. Thank you guys for coming on. Before I do my shoeies that I owe, why don't you guys introduce yourselves real quick and let the people know what you're thinking about the card. Tyler, thanks for coming on. What are you thinking with this card? You like it?
I mean, a lot of people are down on it, and I actually caught a bunch of flack for saying that I'm not down on it because these kind of fight cards are just usually fun. Like, I mean, I don't know. Sure, not every fight's going to have the name value that we had at UFC 290, but I think it's going to be a good card. I think there's some fun fights, and I just like watching fights. If you lock 2 people in a cage, I'm going to have a good time with it. So, like, I don't care who it is. You can lock 2 homeless people in a cage and tell them to fight, and I'm going to watch it. It's just the way it works.
Watch it too, honestly. Yeah, I feel right? The same way. I feel like there's so much violence on this card. We're going to get so many finishes, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to it. Johnny, thanks for coming on. How about you, brother?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I always love doing shows with you guys. But I think this card's gonna be pretty decent. I'll admit, I was one of those guys. I'm like, oh man, this card's not gonna be as good. But then I started doing the tape, and I'm like, okay, gonna be fine. And then as I get closer to the day, I'm like, all right, we got fights. Let's go. I got bets. I'm gonna watch these fights, and I want to win these bets. So of course, right now maybe I'm not as pumped, but give me Friday night, Saturday before, like during our show, I'm going to be pumped, ready to go. So it's all good.
All right. So before we begin, I owe 2 shoeies. I got permission to do them on air, so I'll be doing them to start off the show. Figured it would be a fun way to start my hosting of the show. So the first shoey I owe is to our guy Johnny, who's below me right now. And it was for the Sean Strickland fight. I made a terrible bet on Abus there, and I lost both money and a shoey bet. So that's going to be
for the record. For the record, I want to say this. I did ask you like 3 times. Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm pretty reckless when it comes to shoey bets, and that's probably why my shoey record is so terrible. The only person who I have like a winning record against is Propaholic. That's the only. Everybody else, I'm just losing every time. But
that's awesome.
I think me and Wiz are like 5-2 now. I'm working there. I'm working up.
There you go. My official shoey bet record is 4-3. So. I'm a little over 500 now.
You keep an official record. I got to start doing that too. ROI on shoey bets.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, I'll start it off. And then the second one will be for our guy Wiz Bets. I don't remember what fight, but let me move the microphone away.
It was a fight.
It was a fight. But here we go, guys. First one up. I don't do beer. I do White Claws. I can't have beer, unfortunately. I'm gluten-free.
There you go.
So we're going to have to do seltzers.
At least you have a nice shoe for it, though.
What's up?
At least you have a nice shoe for it.
I do dress shoes every damn time. But here we go. This one's for you, Johnny.
All right, cheers. Here you go. Good form. Smooth. All the way down. And Yahtzee.
That's one.
For something to be a shoey, aren't you supposed to have somebody spit in it? Isn't that like a thing?
I was
told,
Australia. I was told you're supposed to do that. I think I did it once, but honestly, I'm not spitting.
No, this is the American way. That's the Australian way.
What'd you say, Tyler?
I think somebody else is supposed to spit in it, not you. I think it's supposed to be like somebody else.
The only other living creatures in my house are my cat and my dog, and I don't think they could spit. So.
I mean, it's worth a shot, right?
But all right, this one's for Wiz. Don't remember what fight it was, but it was probably a terrible pick anyways. So here we go.
Is that a different flavor of seltzer?
Yeah, this one's lemon.
Okay.
This one's
okay.
Lime.
You taking notes on that, Johnny?
Yep.
What
making sure.
That?
What was the first flavor? Oh, never mind. I can't say anything. We have black cherry. Okay. Black cherry and lemon lime, whatever. Same thing. Citrus. There we go.
And that's a wrap, guys.
That'll start off the show
Nice
right
work.
there. Cheers.
And now we go home. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
that was fun, guys.
It was a good night. All right.
Real men. I don't own a jock strap. I don't even know exactly what that is. Chronic Combat, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming on. Clean shoey. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of those shoeys. I feel like those were pretty clean.
Had a couple messy shoeys, but they weren't like crazy though.
Dude, messy shoeys. My guy Prop, you see the videos he posts? My favorite set of shoeys ever. He was dripping after.
He just doesn't care. He's like, whatever, just pour it on me, not even in my mouth.
But all right, we're not here for shoeys or drinking. We're here to talk some fights and some props. Most importantly, we're gonna consider them and then maybe we'll bet them. So starting off first, we've got Ashley Evans Smith and Aileen Perez. Tyler, why don't you start us off, brother? What you got here?
Okay, so for that fight, I think the prop to play would be the split decision prop. Just fight goes to split decision. I actually couldn't find the odds on it today. I found the odds for just about everything else, but for whatever reason, I couldn't find split decision odds. So that's where I'm at. Whatever it is, I'd play it.
I wonder if Bet Online put it up.
They did when I looked earlier, but that was like 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, something like that.
Maybe they just did it for last week because it was a big pay-per-view.
Right.
True.
But
Yeah, they'll probably have it later this week, but you know.
Yeah, I just see like decision props and stuff like that, not like split decision.
Yeah, they'll probably put it up on like Friday.
You got anything here?
Yeah, this one, I don't know, man. I do like Perez to win this fight, but like that's not giving you any value at minus 200 or anything. I mean, if I would look at something, maybe look at maybe Perez inside the distance, because I mean, Ashley Evans Smith is coming back from like a 2 or 3 year layoff. She's 6-5 in a record, and I don't think she's really that great. But I mean, I'm not saying Perez is amazing either, but at least she goes for the finish early, at least. So I mean, inside the distance for her is plus 225. So I mean, it's worth a stab. But I mean, I probably wouldn't play it. But I think if you're looking for a prop, that's something that maybe you could do.
Yeah, so I considered a prop here, and I did play it. I played Perez by knockout. I got that at plus 600. It's plus 400 now. I don't know if I would say bet that. Maybe wait. Let's see what FanDuel and BetRivers gives you. But at plus 600, I liked it. I think she's extremely physical. The younger woman, I do think she's going to get Smith down, and I think it's ground and pound that's going to do the job. So I feel like it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Ashley's been knocked out 3 times, so there you go. Yes, 3 out of her 5 losses.
And she's been out for what, I think 3 years now?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years, something like that. So, and she's 36 years old. So, like, I do question her, which is why I like Perez in this matchup. Like, I question the heart, the drive. Is she really trying? Is she coming for a paycheck? Like this is all up in the air. So that's why I like Perez in the spot. But I mean, inside the distance, I like it. But KO works too.
Yeah, and the plus side with Perez also is like she's got that dog in her. Like she wants this. She came into her first fight saying, "I'm going to challenge against Nunes." Like she's scared of me, and obviously she was being a clown. But you can tell like the girl is passionate and she's coming here for the W. So
yep, and she's the younger fighter. She's really strong too. So I like it. I might talk myself into doing it now. So
let's go. Hopefully FanDuel or BetRivers will bless you with a line, but
yeah,
we can move on to the next one. Honestly, in terms of props, this is pretty rough. We got Carl Deaton III and Alex Munoz. You got anything here, Johnny?
No. I mean, I want to try to give everyone something maybe, but this one's really tough too. I mean, maybe if I had to put something, maybe like do a decision prop or even a split decision prop. I think this fight might be very close in the end, and it will go the distance. So something along those lines, but I'm staying away from this fight.
Yeah, guys, remember, we're going to give out props for each fight, but these are just for consideration. We'll let you know when we're actually betting them. So just keep that in mind.
I'm trying to give something but for every fight, but it's tough.
It's hard. How about you, Tyler? You got anything here?
So honestly, I think Deaton's going to get like a kind of shady split decision where a lot of people are going to think that he lost because the grappling was on Munoz, but Deaton's going to land the damage or whatever. So the split decision prop on this one too, but Deaton by decision is like plus 215. I don't mind a shot on that for real small. But I do think it is going to split decision. So if they can give me some good money on a Deaton split decision, which I think he's going to be a bigger underdog by the time the fight comes around, I'd probably play it. But I mean, I'm just considering it for now.
Yeah,
just considering. I like.
It's not one of my best though. Don't worry.
But yeah, so for me, honestly, this is like a pass in terms of props. I played Munoz money line. I like him a lot to win, but if I did bet a prop, and I will consider this one, I'll strongly consider this one. Munoz by sub, it's plus 525. I think we're going to spend a lot of time on the ground. He's training at a Team Alpha Male. He's only got one submission win, so that probably explains the line. But I just don't like Deaton's ground game at all. I don't think he's got much of it. So he did use it against Justin James, but that's Justin James. I think that Munoz is going to really out-grapple him, and that sub might be live. So I'm considering that one.
I like it.
We can move on to our next one. Here I've got one. We got Tyson Nam versus Azat Maxim. I'll start us off. So I played the under 2.5. I got it at minus 110. I love it. I like it so much. And even at minus 145, like I think it's still worth a unit shot. We got two guys who are great finishers and both have a way of victory here. Nam can knock him out. He can knock out pretty much anybody in the flyweight division. He's got crazy power. I hate his output. And I'm not a fan of him. I don't like betting guys like him. I call him the flyweight Derek Lewis, but he does have power, and he can knock Maxim out, I think. But I think the more likely outcome is Maxim either submitting him or maybe even knocking him out, because Maxim's got hands, maybe not as much power as Nam, but he's very fast, and the takedowns are amazing. So I played that under. I like it a lot. You're covered either way. Nam gets a knockout, you cash. Maxim gets a sub or a knockout, you cash, unless it's after that under 2.5 mark. But I think we should be good there. How about you, Tyler? You got anything here?
So I'm on the same spot. So the under 2.5 is free money on this one. I bet it as early as I could. Currently on Bet Online, it's at minus 140. What's his face? Nam. Heavy hands, knocks guys dead. But if he doesn't knock guys dead, he's fighting a guy in Maxim who's going to, well, first off, he's hittable. The guy's been dropped multiple times, so he could get knocked dead. But he also is going to come forward with a ton of pressure, volume, takedowns, whatever. Look for this. So, like, the under 2.5 is almost certain to hit. And I know that sounds crazy to say, but that's free money right there at those odds.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 140, I'm betting that all day. I already bet it. Plenty of units on it, so I think it hits.
There you go.
I get so nervous when people start saying stuff is like certain. I'm like, no.
Well, I'm going to make you real nervous tonight, brother.
How about you, Johnny? You got anything here?
Yeah, I was looking at the unders too. I think that's a great bet. The under 2.5 fight doesn't go the distance, whatever one you want to do. I mean, if you want to go a little bit more crazy, you can do Nam KO. You can do Maxim inside the distance, minus 125. You can do by sub. Maxim, I personally think Maxim's going to win by sub. So that's looking about, let's see if I could find it real quick. I can't find it. But I know Nam is like plus 600 for a knockout. So if you want to throw like sprinkle a knockout for Nam and then Maxim sprinkle for the sub, I think it's about maybe what?
It's plus 250.
250. So, meh, I mean, or just play the under. I think the unders are good here. There's going to be a finish, I think, too. So one of those works too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for the sub, I do think it's very live. Like, he's going to wrestle. And he wrestles really, really well. And his jiu-jitsu is pretty good, too. So I do see him submitting Nam. Like, if you ask me the most likely way this ends, I think it's the sub.
Yeah, I agree.
But we can move on. This one's going to be a banger. We got Genaro Valdez versus Evan Elder. Tyler, why don't you start us off for this one?
Okay, so I know everybody thinks this one's going to end early. I don't. I think what happens is you get a lot of scares that it's going to end early. And then both guys wear each other out, and eventually we get really slow, kind of back and forth. Nobody can really hit hard enough anymore. And we're going to go to decision. And for going to decisions plus 215 on Bet Online right now, and I like that right there. So I'm going to take goes to decision. No winner picked on it, just goes to decision plus 215. I'll take that all day. And be sweating profusely.
You're gonna be so clenched, man.
I'll need a shower after that for sure.
Like 3 times probably.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Johnny? Yo, Johnny, also your hat is fire. It just clicked for me, but I like your hat.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I'm wearing this white hat all week on every live show. I don't care. I'm starting a new trend now. I've been switching out hats every time, but I'm like, you know what? If I win this week with this hat, I'm going to just keep it going for every freaking time. So this is the new week I'm starting it.
It's like the MMA guru guy who has like the beanie.
The beanie, yeah.
This is your new hat forever, Johnny.
Well, if I keep winning, I will keep this hat. I'll wear it every time. But I do, you know what? I'm with you, Tyler. I even picked Elder to win this one by decision. I think he wins this one. It's going to be a sweaty first round, but Elder's tough. I mean, the only reason why he was knocked out in his last fight was because he got a big gash right here, and he was looking pretty good. Otherwise, and then the ref stopped it there. So Elder by decision. If I can find it, I'm terrible. It's plus 325 if you like the Elder side, and I mean plus 215 to be safe. Fight goes the distance. That's a good bet too. So I would look at the overs too. I like it. I don't have a bet on it, but that's because DraftKings is slow and I just only use DraftKings.
Yeah, I can't bet any overs here. I've already got gray hairs.
I like it. I don't know. It's weird.
And I don't want to get more gray hairs, but so I'm on Valdez just for a half unit shot in terms of money lines. I think he's live here. And because of that, I tend to think we're going to go under. I don't like betting under 1.5. So I'll consider it, but I probably won't get there. I really don't like betting under 1.5. If I did anything, it would probably be Valdez round 1 knockout. It's sitting at like plus 1,000, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, plus 1,100 on Bet Online.
Oh, there you go.
I get something even better on different books once they come out. But if he wins, it's probably in the first round. I didn't see a point in betting the prop because I took him at money line at like plus 279. But I'll consider it, and I think it's worth consideration. Like, if he wins, it's probably in the first round and probably by knockout. But Evan Elder's a tough guy, so that's why I'm also, like, shaky about it. I love Elder. And
yeah, I think he's good.
Man, I had him. I had him in his last fight, and I was sick to my stomach. And I lost a shoey bet to Propaholic, and he was celebrating, and I was like, I hate you so much.
Stupid doctor.
That doctor saved me from losing a bunch of money because I was on the other side.
You made a call, Tyler?
Yeah, I was like, hey, man,
call it in.
I really need you to get this fight over with or we're going to have some problems.
It was a crazy cut. It was
pretty big.
But moving on, we've got Jack Della Maddalena versus Basil Hafez. Basil, I don't know, making his UFC debut on short notice. Johnny, why don't you start us off, brother?
I mean, I don't know too much of the lines for the props for this fight because it just came up. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously you want to look at the unders, Jack Della knockout, all that good stuff. But if you want to get a little risky, I would maybe look at the knockout or Jack Della in round 2. I think this fight could go to round 2 because Hafez is more so a grappler wrestler. He might go in there trying to get takedowns. Maybe he does get a takedown control time. I don't think he finishes Jack by any means, but I think Jack will survive it at least. And then second round starts, Hafez gassing a little bit and he gets that knockout. So maybe look at second round knockout because I'm sure first round knockout's probably close to plus money and it's really not that worth it too much.
You teed me up pretty well, Johnny. I'm honestly probably gonna. I mean, it'll depend on the odds, but because the over 1.5 is plus 170, I bet it's going to be plus money. I'll be looking at fight starts round 2. I think that Hafez is a tough guy. I think that Jack probably wins this, and not probably. I think more than likely Jack wins ITD, but I think it's going to be later, like you said. Like maybe if you like Jack a lot, take the round 2 knockout, round 3 knockout. You're probably going to get really good odds. For me, I'm just happy to just play the fight starts round 2. Like you said, I think Hafez will wrestle. I think that he's a pretty good wrestler, and he's definitely a harder challenge than Josiah Harrell was going to be. I mean, he's an actual welterweight. And he's pretty damn good, in my opinion. Like, I don't think he'll ever be top 10, but I think he'll be around in the UFC for a while. So, for me, it's fight starts round 2. I bet we're going to get plus money. And real quick, I want to address this. I don't know where you got this from. Lou did not get fired. Like, this was totally because Lou wanted to go. I mean, how could you fire the guy? Get out of here.
Lou will be back. He's fine.
I think he'll be back, too. Like, he said it might be permanent. I don't think he'll be permanent. It'll be permanent. I think he loves the game too much. But
I know that's what I was gonna say.
But Tyler, how about you, man? What you got here?
So I'm not even actually seeing the props on it. I'm on FightOdds.io and I don't see.
We only have the totals right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna be just the biggest casual here and say JDM first round knockout.
Okay. I mean, it's possible.
It's probably happening, and I think. Yeah. I do think that this Basil guy, I think he's pretty good. I did watch all his fights or whatever, so he's not like a bum, but like, dude, JDM on short notice, that's a horrible matchup for anybody. I mean, you saw what he did to Randy Brown, and Randy Brown's pretty good. So, like, if this dude was fighting Randy Brown on short notice, I'd be picking Randy Brown. You know what I mean? And he just wrecked Randy Brown. So, yeah, I'm taking JDM first round knockout. Or TKO, I guess.
That Randy Brown fight was crazy because I know so many people who hammered Randy Brown submission only because they didn't think it was possible that it went any other. Like, if this happened, everyone thought it was Brown, including me. And then Jack was just like, screw all of you. Watch this.
Yeah, I think he messed up one of my bets too. I think I did Jack Della by knockout because he knocks out everybody. So
you see the way he wobbled him though? That was nuts. He turned him into a wacky inflatable.
Well, and his head went straight into the mat, and then he just jumped on him and got the. I think it was a guillotine, but no, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, any kind of choke. But I was just like, "What are you doing?
Where's the ground and pound, man? We talked about this."
Exactly. It's not the game plan.
But all right, we can move on to the next one. For this one, we've got Austin Lingo versus Melquizel Costa. I'm all over Costa here. I'll start us off. I like Costa a lot. I played his money line. But in terms of a prop, I like the sub. I'm not playing it yet because it seems like the price has been going up on Bet Online, and I bet that FanDuel or BetRivers will give me something better. Plus 375 is what's available right now. On the feet, I think he can totally hang with Lingo. But Lingo hits really hard, and he's very aggressive, and he's got good output. So if Costa's smart, or if he's uncomfortable at any point, he'll probably grapple. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very good, and I do think he's very live to submit Lingo. I mean, we saw Landwehr submit him. I know Landwehr breaks people, but the jiu-jitsu of Costa, in my opinion, is definitely better than Landwehr's. So for me, I really like that sub, and I will not only consider it, I will bet it. I'm just waiting to see the odds on the other books. But how about you, Tyler?
All right, so we are differing in opinions on this one a little bit because I do think Costa wins, but I'm not that confident in it. And I don't think he can sub Lingo. And I think the reason Lingo got subbed by Landwehr is not because of jiu-jitsu skill. And I don't think that Costa is going to be able to put just the relentless pace on Lingo that Landwehr was able to do. So I don't think he's going to be able to sub Lingo because he's not bad on the ground, although he's definitely not a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not bad, and usually he's like, pretty good at surviving. They're good. They're both good on the feet, and I think we're going to have a striking battle. So what I would play if I was to play, I'm considering at this point, for plus 160, you can get Lingo scorecards, no action. Because I think if somebody does get the knockout, it's Lingo because the dude hits like a truck. I mean, like one of his fights have not been a knockout, like one win or something like that. It's like, or maybe all of them are knockout. I don't know. It's a lot of them. I think he has one win that's not a knockout.
The last,
he has two sub wins and 4 decisions.
Oh, I guess he has some club and thumbs. That's true, as well. But like, dude's knocking guys dead like all over the regional scene, and in the UFC, he hasn't been able to get it yet. But I'm going to say the scorecards no action Lingo is probably the way to go because I do think it's going to go to decision. I think Costa's probably going to win a decision unless he gets knocked out.
Okay,
so it probably gets voided.
How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I like Costa here a lot. I think he's better everywhere personally. And maybe the closest thing would be the striking from both guys. I think that's the closest thing. But I like the submission prop too. Maybe even if you want to get a little crazier, maybe later in the fight, like second round or even third round submission. I think the first round will be a good fight. And then after that, I think Costa can push, maybe not a super relentless pace, but enough pace to slow down Lingo and maybe get some grappling going later on, and then maybe take the back. And I think that's where he gets the sub later in the fight. So I would look at the sub route. I do like the money line at minus 200. I got that in a parlay. And I think this is there's not too many parlay pieces this card for sure. So I think this is one of them though.
That's one of my favorite things about this card, honestly. Like, it's not parlay.
I got a lot of single bets, yeah.
Because everything's so close. Like, I don't remember the last time I had this many money lines. I already have 8. I have 8.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. I don't do that anymore.
3 right now, and that's a lot for me.
Back in the day when I was still learning the game, like I was betting 8, 9 money lines. Now I usually do like 3 to 6. But now, like, it just kind of happened. 8
is more than I have bets entirely. So
Well,
like
me
that's
too.
a lot.
I only have like 5 bets total.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
even know
not-
that I have that many right. I think I've got 4, or maybe it's 5, but like 4. I have 5 because of my Patreon parlay, but that one doesn't count.
Yeah, it's just I don't even know. I don't know what happened. I think it's because the lines are so close, and like I do see edges in the bets that I ended up taking, so just ended up that way. I hate it though. I'm so anxious about it. But we can move
Fun.
on. Next up, we've got Estela Nunes versus Victoria Dudakova. I love Dudakova, not necessarily in this matchup, but just in general, the way she survived the Contender Series thing. She came in with like an injured knee. I think it was her left one. I don't remember exactly. No, I think it was her right one. And then something about a torn ACL too. She's a dog. But Tyler, why don't you start us off, brother?
Okay, so yeah, about our Contender Series matchup, real quick. Everybody was on Maria Silva, right? Because she's
Not
the
me.
favorite.
Not
Everybody
me.
was on her. Yeah, not me either. I'm with you, brother. Dude, I was sweating though when her knee was like not looking good. I was like, oh geez. But dude, she persevered. That girl, I'm a fan of her now for life because of that. But so this one's interesting though, because there's 3 different props I like, and technically 2 of them can hit at the same time. And it's like kind of like a triangle of them. So I either like Dudakova by decision. I like Nunes to win in round 1 because it's the same as wins by knockout in round 1. They're both plus 1,000. So like you might as well just put round 1 in case she somehow magically decides to do a submission. Or you can play the point spread on Nunes, which I don't have the odds on that. But technically 2 of those 3 could win no matter what way you slice it. You can get 2 out of 3 if you play it, So it kind of depends on the value you're looking for. I think the most likely is Dudakova by decision, but I do think Nunes wins the first round because she comes out, hits hard, she hits fast. So I don't mind the point spread in addition to the Dudakova by decision. If you play them both together, they both can hit. And if they both hit, you look like a genius because you played both sides and they both hit. But then you're also hedged off in the event that someone like Nunes drops Dudakova with a heavy shot because she can strike. Nunes can strike very well. She just can't stop a takedown. So if she drops Dudakova and knocks her out, then the point spread kicks over. You're good. You covered your backside. You know what I mean? That was a long-winded explanation, but I like all 3 of those on that.
I like it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think of the point spread, and I've been playing a lot of them, and I just pulled it up.
Mhm.
Plus 105 Nunes, plus 3.5 on the spread.
There you go.
I think that's really good. Like I'll
That
talk about
covers your
my
butt,
prop.
too.
Go ahead.
My props are like against that, so I can't bet it. But honestly, I think that's a very solid spot. But how about you, Johnny?
Yeah. I mean, my props that I like here, I like the under 2.5. I do think Nunes can get the first round knockout because she comes out guns blazing. She's got power. And then she starts to slow down after the first round. And then I think that's when Dudakova can take over with her wrestling and grappling and maybe get a ground and pound knockout after Nunes gasses, or even get like a rear naked choke too. So under 2.5 at plus 110, I think that's a good bet. You can do Nunes, like Tyler said, Nunes round 1 knockout. I think that's probably when she wins. I don't think she's going to win a decision per se, because I don't think she's going to either 1, not be able to make it, or 2, she's just not going to win rounds 2 and 3. So, or Dudakova inside the distance, you can do plus 160, or if you think the sub, it's a little bit higher than that, nothing crazy, but I mean, that's what I would look at as the under. It just covers both bases.
Yeah, makes sense to me. So honestly, I think Nunes is pretty underrated. I know she falls off a cliff, but I like her striking a lot, and she's definitely going to be a problem for Dudakova on the feet, in my opinion. Dudakova, as much as I love her and I love her heart, I don't think that she can really hang with Nunes on the feet. And if she tries, I think she'll be in trouble. But the beauty of Dudakova is I don't think she's going to let it be on the feet. She's going to go for those takedowns no matter what. She's a great wrestler. She's got great jiu-jitsu. Granted, it's against lower competition. Oh.
We'll be back.
Yeah, I think that's why he showed us the 1 minute.
buttons.
I mean, the dude's literally inside of a gym right now. So
I know.
I think we can give him some slack. But for me, I took Dudakova. I already considered it, and I already bet it.
Nice.
There he is. And I played the Dudakova submission. I played it at plus
I like
250. It's sitting at around plus 200 now. I bet you that FanDuel will give you 250-ish. And I just think we're going to be on the ground a lot. I think we're going to be on the ground probably all 3 rounds, and she's going to have so much time to eventually get that submission. She's going to be grinding Nunes out, and I just think she is going to find that sub sooner or later. She's got that dog in her. And, we talk about hammers and nails, right? I think Dudakova is both a good hammer and a good nail, although we haven't really seen her tested as a nail yet. But based off that whole knee thing, for me, it seems like she can handle it. Nunes so far has been a fantastic hammer and a terrible, terrible nail. So I just think eventually Dudakova is going to break her and get that sub. I know you mentioned it, Johnny, the ground and pound knockout. I saw some other people on it. It makes sense a little bit. Plus 800. It's not really something I see her go to very often. So I feel like her better shot here is the sub. So I took a little, I think I threw a third of a unit on it to win like just under one.
Yeah, normally I've been playing a lot of inside the distances instead of like knockouts or like straight knockout or straight sub, just in case, because like the Jack Della, like these other ones that happen, you're just like, mother effer. If I would have just been a little less greedy, it would have hit, still got plus money, I'd have been happy.
When I learned my lesson, and luckily it wasn't a bad, like I learned it in a good way. When Bilal Muhammad fought Sean Brady, I bet Bilal money line. And everybody was like, why aren't you betting his decision? That's the only way he wins. And I was like, because the difference, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to bet his decision when it's slightly different. So, and look how that worked out. So it's definitely a good thing.
There you go. Money lines work out the same way like that.
But, all right, we can move on to our next one. We've got Tucker Lutz versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. I'm all confused now. Who went last time? It was you, Tyler?
It don't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. So
go ahead.
For this one, I'm on Melsik. I messed up so hard with the line movement. I don't know if I've got reverse CLV'd so hard in a while. I played Melsik at minus 220, and now he's minus 150. So I feel like a big old dummy, and I definitely have some anxiety because everybody's on Lutz. But in terms of a prop, I am not going to play anything because I've already got 2 units on Melsik, and I'm already uncomfortable. But I think that Melsik by knockout at plus 215 is a decent spot. I think the under 2.5 at plus 105 is a decent spot. Maybe the fight ends inside the distance minus 110. Because the way I see it is on the feet, it's Melsik all day long. Lutz, he's okay in the striking. He's decent, but he works in these flurries. I don't think he can hang with Melsik on the feet. And then if he grapples, I think that's where you're live for that under. Because then I think he might be able to submit Melsik. I think that's a possibility. His jiu-jitsu is pretty decent. And if you agree with that, it's plus 700 straight on that sub for Lutz. So that might be a spot if you like Tucker Lutz. I personally don't, so I won't be betting that. But I would consider the under 2.5, and I would consider the Melsik knockout if you're on Melsik like I am. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I like Melsik here too. But I do think this may be a closer fight than I would like. Let's put it that way. And like you said, Melsik better on the feet. I think Lutz will have the wrestling grappling advantage. So Lutz isn't the greatest submission artist, but I think, Melsik's defensive grappling is not great. So if this does get to the mat, he may struggle depending on how well Lutz can control him. So the unders are good. I think he could get the knockout Melsik on the feet all day. So I like the unders here. I wouldn't get too crazy with this fight though, but that's the way I see it. There's just not a lot I like on this fight. I'm not betting this fight at all. I just want to watch it as a fan.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun fight, I think. But how about you, Tyler? You got anything here?
So I actually switched my pick today. I was originally on Lutz. Then I started getting that uneasy feeling, kind of like I did with the Barber-Hebus fight, where I switched to Barber because I just felt like it was a stupid idea that I picked Hebus. And I think it was because I heard everybody else taking Hebus. And I was like, maybe they're on to something. She looked good in her last fight. And then I was like, that's stupid. Barber's going to win that fight. So I switched. I started getting that same feeling here. And now I don't know if that means anything, but now I'm on the Bagdasaryan side, but I'm not confident in it at all. And so I started looking at the props, going back and forth. First off, I'm kind of appalled that the Bagdasaryan submission prop is only plus 1,600 because that's like offensive. He's not submitting anybody.
That should be plus 3,000.
I mean,
so
I like the draw. I think Bagdasaryan 10-8s him in the first, and then gets slayed on for the next 2 rounds, and we get a draw.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Plus 6,600. Let's go draw.
That could happen.
Tyler's giving out the draw. I love it. Honestly,
giving out the draw.
That's a pretty good one. But we can move on to the next fight. We've got Terrence McKinney versus Nazim Sadyakov. Super hyped for this one. Johnny, why don't you start us off, brother?
Yeah, so anything under or not to go to distance is that's the bet you do. But I actually, I slightly lean Sadikov in this fight only because McKinney. I want to see McKinney do well for once. He hasn't been doing well in a while. So I think Sadikov can survive the first round, and I think he gets that second round knockout. So that would be the prop that I would look at here. Maybe, or if you want to do second and third round, just do two separate bets because I think that's when Sadikov gets the finish by knockout. And if you want to even just get a little crazier, you can do McKinney first round knockout because I think that's when he's going to get a knockout. So either way, this goes under, but I got the under 1.5 in a parlay. I think that hits because McKinney doesn't really go past 1.5 in any of his fights. Maybe like one or two out of his like 18 fights went over 1.5.
That's such a crazy stat. How about you,
Yeah,
Charlie?
it's insane.
Yeah. So I go back and forth on this one because it depends if you want the little bit of extra plus money. Because you can take McKinney to win in round one is plus 200. But if you take McKinney by knockout in round one, it's plus 300. And I think the better play is McKinney in round one because there's definitely the possibility that he's like, you know what? This brawling with guys is not doing it for me. I keep losing these fights. I'm going to shoot a takedown and submit this guy. And I can totally see that happening. I do think McKinney's going to get this win. He's been training with different guys this time. I think he's going to probably get the upset. And I think if he does it, it's probably round one because that's just what he does. He burns hot, just, like somebody lit a fire under him and he just goes. So I'm going to take McKinney round one at plus 200 rather than the knockout. So that's where I'm at.
Good idea.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat with McKinney. I think he's going to pull this one out. I was talking to Sadyukub Kakramanov, and he was telling me, like, McKinney's taking this dead serious. Like, he really, really wants this one back. So I expect him to come in, fight smart. I think he'll probably get a sub. That's what I think. But I did play the first round knockout because I got a crazy line compared to what it is now. I got plus 800, which
That's
I think
awesome.
is just a mistake on the bookies' part because that makes no sense. That's how he usually wins.
Yeah.
Can he get a first round sub? Absolutely. And I think that low key is the more likely outcome. But at plus 800 round one knockout, I couldn't pass it up. Now, where we're at, I'm with you guys. I would just play McKinney round one in terms of a prop. That's really the only thing. Because he could do a sub, he could do a knockout. But if he's smart and he really wants this W, just grapple. His wrestling is so good, and his jiu-jitsu is also really good.
I'm just worried about his gas tank because let's say he doesn't get that any finish in the first round. Like, what's he going to look like in the second? He usually just goes pew. So that's where I'm headed at the other way. But wouldn't be shocked one bit if McKinney gets a first round finish.
The thing that makes me worry there, that makes me not worry too much about that is, so Sadikov was losing to Evan Elder, and not that Evan Elder's bad. I think he's very technical. He's very, very good striker, very good, whatever. He's a good fighter. But McKinney's like light years ahead of him in the danger factor. And I don't, if that kind of volume and that kind of, those kind of shots were landed on Sadikov by Elder, it stands to reason that McKinney can land something on Sadikov and probably put him out. So I don't know. I think that the danger factor of McKinney makes it so it's probably ending early. Whether he wins or loses, I think he wins, but whether he wins or loses, probably ending early.
It's under 1.5. I'm cool with it.
There you go. Under 1.5 is a good play.
It's pretty crazy how they price Sadyukov in round 2 and 3. Like, they're really on it. Sadyukov in round 2 is plus 450. Round 3 is plus 600. I don't know if I've ever seen it that low. Like, that's nuts.
I mean, I think if he survives the first round, I think it's going to happen in one of those two rounds for sure on his side. So,
yeah, the bookies are totally on it, but
they know.
Yeah, unless you think Sadikov's getting a submission in round 2, that's like plus 2,800.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it'd be a club and sub. It'd have to be a club and sub. It would have to be.
Yeah. It's always the club and sub.
Wrestling is so good, man. His wrestling is so good, and like the jiu-jitsu is definitely there. Also, like the way he manhandled fucking Farziem, like that was incredible.
Yeah.
On the ground. But we can move on. This next one, I mean, it's almost guaranteed violence. We got Otman Zaitar versus Francisco Prado. Tower, why don't you start us off? I got to run to the restroom after these two shoeies, so I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Okay, so for me, I think that as Zaitar wins this fight, I think everybody's really down on him because he lost to Frivola. And it makes sense because that Frivola, wow, holy cow, that line is moving. So when he lost to Frivola, everybody's like, oh, man, Zaitar was this undefeated guy, came in, whatever, yada, yada. But Frivola's looked like a champ. He just chinned Dober, and Dober's like, that dude had a chin that could not be cracked. So I don't hold that loss against him too bad. Yeah, he didn't look the best, but like Frivola's clearly on a different level right now. So when this is crazy. So just a couple of hours ago, I was looking at the prop lines, and I had round 1 KO for a Zaitar at plus 550. Now, round 1 for a Zaitar KO is plus 425. So it's moved by over 100 points on that. So that's pretty crazy. But I think a Zaitar round 1 KO is the play. I think he's going to just absolutely go out there and flatten him. So give me Mr. Potato Head round 1 knockout. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. It's your back.
Back right in time. So honestly, again, I got reverse CLV'd here. I played Prado, and I definitely recognize the knockout threat here from a Zaitar, but I haven't heard too many people say this. I think Prado's going to wrestle.
Good.
And that leads me to my prop that I'm considering is Prado by submission. I think it's being completely overlooked. Everybody's just expecting a war on the feet. And, it's possible. Yeah, it could happen. But Prado, he's 21. He's going to be improving constantly. And he's already got great jiu-jitsu and great wrestling. And I don't see why he wouldn't use it here. I really do think he'll use it. He came in short notice against Malarkey and got out-grappled there. I'm not going to hold that against him. And I definitely don't think a Zaitar is going to wrestle. It's just not something that he does. He's been out for a minute. I just think if we hit the ground, there's going to be a pretty big advantage for Prado. And his sub is currently sitting at, plus 700. So, yeah, I'm going to be on that. I'm going to, at that price, it wasn't that earlier. Earlier today's what, July 11th? No, never mind. I last saw it at the plus 450 it opened at. I'm shocked that it's plus 700 now. I like that a lot. But how about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I like the unders here. I think someone's going to get a finish, whether it's a knockout or a submission from Prado, more than likely. I do like the Zaitar first round knockout because I think that's how he wins. I don't think he's been out of the first round in most of his fights. So, but I like Prado to win. I liked his money line. I got it at minus 120. I just think he can do more. I think he's a good striker. I also think he's a good wrestler, and I think he's a good grappler, and he's young. And I'm just not 100% sure. And I know Zaitar has only been knocked out once, but he's 33 years old. That was his first fight back from like 2 years off. How he's going to look in this one. It's not too far. It's not like too much. Like it was like 7 months ago, I think, when he was knocked out. So he has some time off, but like he looked really slow. And I'm scared because Prado is way faster than what he showed me in that last fight. So we'll see what happens. So give me Prado. I just think he has more ways to win. He could even win a decision. So it'd be a crazy outcome, but he's the only one that I can see winning a decision here.
Honestly, maybe a decision only prop.
Yeah.
That just hit me.
What's that one at?
Honestly, I don't even know. It would be on DraftKings if it's out. I actually really want to check.
Is it scorecards, no action?
Scorecards, no action. I feel like it's not worth it because I'm saying decision only. Like,
decision. Okay, I'm just looking at it. I don't see it right now.
You're on DraftKings?
No, I'm looking at fight odds, but it should be on DraftKings. Let me look it up.
Okay, decision only on Prado is minus 125, and I actually love that.
It's basically the money line. So, I mean, you'll get your money back if he gets knocked out.
Yep. That's why I like that a lot. I don't really.
You should have just done that instead.
Solid.
It's a good like a hedge bet, I guess, if you want. You could double up if you pick Prado and the decision only.
Yeah, honestly, like at this point, it makes no sense for me because I do have a unit down on Prado's money line. But if I was only betting it now, that's how I would approach it for sure.
It's almost a free bet, though. Think about it. I mean, even if you have a Prado bet like me, throw another unit on that or two, whatever, and it's not. I mean, if it hits, you get double your money instead of just one bet.
And now Zaitar is going to come out and win a damn decision.
wrestle, and go to decision.
There's no way.
That'd be hilarious.
No way. But yeah, definitely worth the consideration. I think that's a great spot.
Yeah, I like that spot
that they lined it that way because
Prado by decisions plus 500 though. Throwing it out there.
Another decent spot. But
he's the only one that can win by decision, I think. So
that's true. He is the only one that can win by decision, as Itar is not making it to decision.
No.
And winning anyway.
That's what I was thinking. But we can move on. Next up, we've got Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler. I was so confused why this is at 145 because I thought the featherweight division is dead. And then today the news came out with Ronda Rousey possibly coming back. And I think that's exactly why this is at 145.
Makes sense.
I think we might get that announcement soon. But Johnny, why don't you start us off, brother?
Yeah, I'm on Norma here. I just think she's the better fighter. But I mean, you could do any over here, any decision prop from Norma to win by decision. I think she's going to win this one. I wouldn't get too crazy with this one. It's pretty much just Norma just makes fights go to decision. She's not a really big threat for KO, but she's really good everywhere. She's solid, but I'm thinking going to go decision. That's what I would do.
How about you, Tyler?
Okay, so I'm about to get a bit of a hot take here, I think. So I don't think that Chelsea Chandler's any good at all. I don't think she should be in the UFC. I think she's terrible. She's better than like somebody that doesn't fight, but like she's not good. I think Norma Dumont is going to absolutely destroy her. And so I understand that the Norma decision is plus 105. So here's how you play this. Norma's winning the fight, okay? Here's how you play this. I got her originally at plus money already, so I'm fine. But here's how you play it now if you're late to the party, okay? Norma Dumont, by decision, is plus 105, which by most people's estimations is the most likely outcome. However, I think Chelsea Chandler is so bad, Dumont's getting the TKO, and that's at plus 1,000. I think Dumont's going to beat the brakes off this poor woman. But in order to cover yourself in case it goes to decision, you just play the same number of units on Norma decision and Norma TKO. When the TKO hits, you're through the roof. When the decision hits, you're like, yeah, okay, I made a couple bucks, whatever. That's how I'd play it at this point. I played her money line when it was plus money, so I'm just happy with that. But honestly, if you play that TKO at plus 1,000, which I'm probably going to do now that I see that, I didn't realize that until just a few minutes ago. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's insane. It'll probably be even better. I don't know. People, maybe not. But after this stream, people are going to be all over it. So I'm probably going to lose that line. But Norma TKO is the pick. That's a beautiful line.
Does it worry you any that Norma has 0 knockouts in her career?
No, because she hasn't faced anyone this bad.
Okay.
She has knockdowns.
She does. She had a knockdown in the Wolf fight when she fought Danielle Wolf. And she was very close, yeah.
And I think Wolf is better than Chandler.
Yeah, I think so.
Chandler
in striking, at least.
Chandler was this close to losing to Julia Stoliarenko, who's also not good. I mean,
she's an armbar specialist.
More
That's it.
Than Chandler, but she also just can't win a fight. So, yeah, I mean, Chandler's just not good. She's just strong.
I mean, if you're going to be super safe, just in case, though, Dumont inside the distance is plus 525.
That's also not a bad play.
She's got 2 subs in her career, at least 2.
That's true. Okay, that's a safer play. You can play that too. I think TKO, man. I think she's gonna.
It's juicy. It looks and it sounds great, but I'm trying to like maybe logicalize it a little bit. I'm like, she's got 0 KOs in her career.
So okay. Another example.
It makes sense.
Everybody said Bo Nickel was gonna get first round sub. I kept telling everybody he's gonna come out and showcase his striking because this is a good matchup for him to show his striking. Some dude on the shorts was giving me a hard time. He was like, yeah, a fighter uses his striking. Yeah, of course you predicted it. Yeah, nobody said that. I said that. He's going to come out and strike. He's not going to try to wrestle. You saw him shoot that takedown that he could have got and didn't take it, let it go so he could strike. That's what he did. I called that. I'm calling it right here. Dumont, KO. I'm on it. I'm riding this one to the moon, guys. We're going with it. I'm like hyping myself up right now.
To the moon.
Dude, I'm ecstatic right now because I thought I was going to be the crazy one pitching Dumont KO. And you beat me to it, and I'm on it as well. I actually already played it. I played it on DraftKings at plus 1,200 for a 10th of the unit. Man. Dude, she's got way better hands. And the thing with Chelsea Chandler is this is how she strikes.
Yeah.
That's literally how she strikes. Could she overwhelm Norma Dumont? Maybe. But I have a hard time seeing her win this fight. I think Dumont is too good. I think Dumont's better everywhere. The fact you got plus money on her, Tyler, fantastic bet. I
bet
saw
like
that
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw it. I stayed off because I hadn't taped it yet, and I've been trying not to just jump on it. But, dude, her striking sucks. And Dumont has power. She's stocky. She's got pretty good hands. The fact that she knocked down Danielle Wolf, a boxer, impressive to me. And I think it's so live. Like, we're going to see Chelsea Chandler being so sloppy on the feet. And Dumont's not sloppy. She's got hands. And did she look rough in the Carol Rosa fight? Yeah, she did. But I don't think that Chandler's even on the level of Rosa. I think Rosa would smoke Chelsea Chandler. So
yeah,
I really like the knockout, and I can't believe that you like it that much too.
It's plus 1,200 on DraftKings still too. So
nice. It's only plus 1,000 on the Dagon Bet Online. So there we go. I can actually explain a little bit more that makes me think this. So the Rosa fight. Rosa's not a fighter that's just going to be aggressive in your face all fight, right? So, like, sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. She's kind of hit or miss with her pressure. Chelsea Chandler thinks she's a good fighter, and because of that, she's very aggressive out of the gate. She's going to try to run through people. And when you try to run through Norma Dumont, you make her do that volume, and you make her start throwing strikes. Danielle Wolf did that, where she tried to, like, strike with her, thinking, like, oh, this is my only chance to beat her is by striking with her. I'm going to get aggressive. And what happened? She got counterstruck. Dumont only throws combinations when she counters. I don't know why. Otherwise, it's single shots. If she's counter-striking Chelsea Chandler, she's going to be throwing combinations. She's putting this girl out. It's hitting.
I'm so happy.
They're going to make me throw some beer money on that, just in case.
There you go. At least like $1 or something. You know what I mean?
No, I'm like at least $5. Just get like, 60 or whatever, 65, whatever.
Props to consider, and then definitely bet.
Definitely bet, especially when I have a couple beers in me and like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one.
I'm betting it as soon as the stream's over. I didn't even realize that line was so ridiculous, but I'm betting as soon as this is over.
Let's go.
Oh, I like it.
It's a crazy outcome, but guys, it makes a lot of sense to me, at least.
It does. And even if she gets some takedowns, I mean, ground and pound's available too, so you never know.
What round? I mean, I would assume 2 and 3, but at 1,200, I don't see a reason to get funky with it.
Yeah, I also you don't have to even be surprised in the first. Chandler's not good.
That's why there's like no point in getting like fancy.
Yeah, if it's that high, there's no point in getting a little fancy at all.
But all right, we can move on. Next up, we've got our co-main event of the evening. We've got Albert Duraya versus Jun Young Park. A lot of strong takes on this one. Tyler, why don't you start us off, brother?
Okay, so I have a hard time with this one because it's one that I think is a very close fight. And in a close fight, I'm going to favor the guy with the volume. And I'm trying to get the current odds because I had it from a while ago. I didn't see it yet. But I'm going to say Park is going to have the better volume. The guy puts a jab out there early and often. He does often end up in a brawl. And we've noticed that a guy like Duraev seems to swell up a lot. His face is always looking like a little bit like some hamburger that you left sitting out overnight. He kind of looks like that at the end of every fight, whether he wins or loses. So I think a guy like Park is probably going to get the decision at the end just by the volume and the look on Duraev's face. Even if Duraev is able to get some takedowns, Park's not horrible on the ground, so he's going to be able to work through that. So Park by decision. Earlier I saw it at plus 175. I was trying to look for what it is right now. I'm not entirely sure.
It's about the same.
About the same? Cool. Yeah, I play that decision prop for Park if I'm playing a prop there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to bet this fight. But that's where I would bet it if I was betting it.
Yeah, so real quick before I go, guys, for the love of God, please stop talking about Norma Dumont's farts in the comments. Just stop it. Just stop
it. They smell like roses, but you know.
Does she fart a lot or what?
I don't know, but just cut it out, guys. But in terms of I like Duraev here, man. Honestly, like at first I was thinking everybody's on Park. Let me see what the hype is about. And I think it's just a lot of recency bias. Like, first of all, you mentioned it, Tyler, in terms of Duraev's face blowing up. It's against guys who hit hard. You know, I think Roman Kopylov is a much better striker than Park. Like, he's a good striker. And so is Chidi, and so is Buckley. Like, they're all way better strikers than Park in my eyes. I think Park's boxing is good, but it's nothing special. And I think that Duraev's boxing is also good and nothing special. So on the feet, I think we're relatively close. You brought up a good point with the volume. That could help Park. But the truth is, I don't see Park having any wrestling success here. Like, people are talking about his wrestling, and I think it's all just coming from these last two fights, like the Joseph Holmes and the Dennis Tuyulin fights. Joseph Holmes, I think that if he stops, like if he leaves the UFC and maybe takes like a 3-year break, and comes back, I think he could be a stud. He's got the frame, he's got the talent, but he's just very green and not good right now. In terms of Dennis Tiulin, great boxer, but his ground game isn't there. So is it shocking he got subbed? Not really. Now, Duraev, he's a really good wrestler, and he's got really good jiu-jitsu too. So is Park going to sub him? In my eyes, no, I don't think so. And if we're on the feet, I kind of favor Duraev. It'll be close, but then I can feel comfortable knowing that I think Duraev will shoot and get takedowns if he needs to. So in terms of a prop, I'm probably not going to bet it. I'm only going to consider it, but fight doesn't go to decision. Kind of makes sense to me. It's sitting at minus 110 right now. You can even get plus 108 depending what book you have, but my bookie has plus 108. I think this is going to be a really violent fight. I think that Duraev's live for a sub. I think that Park might be live if Duraev really gasses at the end. Maybe Park can get a knockout. I think Duraev's going to win more than likely in ITD, but for me, I just played Duraev money line. That prop is going to be just considered by me, probably not bet. But how about you, Johnny?
I'm on the Park side, and actually, I see a lot of people on Duraev's side. I can see why, because he's a very good wrestler. He starts out really strong, but in a lot of his fights, I swear, and people are like, he doesn't slow down. I'm like, he slows down. He gets sloppy with his takedowns. He's very low volume on the feet. In the Chitty fight, he did all like amazing wrestling, and then when he got up on the feet, like I don't know why Chitty didn't even throw anything, which I was screaming at the TV. But they barely struck the last 2 rounds at all, and it was mainly on the feet. Is because Duraev was, I don't want to say gassed, but he was just tired, and he was just hoping that he could land a couple shots here and there because Chitty wasn't throwing anything, so he didn't have to do anything. But Park's not going to be like that. Like he can adapt as the fight goes on. So I like the Park later round finishes if you want to throw a sprinkle on that, maybe, or maybe Duraev first round if you think he can get a finish in the first round. But I do like Park by decision, or maybe even like a split decision. This is going to be a fairly close fight because I think it really comes down to the second round. Who's going to win the second round? So I think Park's going to win the third round. I think Duraev's going to win the first round. So it's tough for me. I don't have any bets, but man, if that Park line keeps going down closer to pick 'em, like maybe minus 125, 130, I might throw some money on Park because I do think he wins. It will be a close fight, but I mean, the dog, all the value is on Duraev right now. So I get it. I'm not going to bet anything on this unless it gets lower.
While you're talking, I thought about the spread, the Duraev plus 3.5, but it's minus 170. Not really.
I mean, it's not too. I mean, it's super safe if you want to throw in a parlay. I don't think there's gonna be a finish, but I think the only way it would be like third round Park finish because Duraev's gassed or something like that.
That could happen, yeah.
Yeah, I know my guy Propaholics on that. He played Park round 2 and 3, which are, I think he did the knockout. I don't remember. Park round 2 knockouts plus 1,200 on Bet Online. Round 3's plus 1,300. I think Prop got something better than that, but that doesn't seem that great to me.
No, I mean 1,300 for round 3 is not bad. I thought it would be like in the 2,000s because he hasn't really finished too many people. I mean, he got to finish against Tululian, but.
Dude, how about that Greg Rodriguez fight? One of my favorite sequences out there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Almost knocked out Greg, and then Greg just comes right back. It was like the Drakkar close Dariush sequence. Pretty much the same exact thing. But we can move on to our main event of the evening. We've got Holly Holm versus Mayra Bueno Silva. I'll start us off here. So I think Holm wins. I missed the line completely, unfortunately, and I don't think I'm going to get to Holm at minus 177. I considered parlaying her, but I was just like, dude, don't parlay Holly Holm. If somehow the line goes back the other way, I will throw a unit on her. I really do think she's got this. So what I'm looking at is round 4 and round 5 knockouts for Holly Holm. I think that both of those are very live because look, let's be real here. Mayra Bueno Silva, she's getting tired in round 3 and round 2. So how's she going to look in round 4 and 5 against a woman who's way more physical than her? Like, it's not even close. She's definitely more physical. Who's stronger? I don't know. Silva is a tank, but I kind of think it's Holm who's stronger. And Holm's going to have the wrestling edge. Holm, in my eyes, has the striking edge. The only thing Silva has in my eyes is a submission, and I really don't think she submits Holly Holm. So I'm looking at that round 4, round 5 knockout. It's plus 3,000 and plus 3,500 on Bet Online. I bet it earlier today on DraftKings. This is off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I got round 5 there at plus 4,000 and round 4 at plus 35, something like that. I did play it. I think it's a very live spot. I think that Holm is just a better mixed martial artist. And I'm very shocked at how many people are so high on Silva here, like saying she's the best bet of the card. She's the dog of the card. I don't understand it. I personally don't understand it. So for me, round 4, round 5 knockouts, I didn't just consider them. I played it. So that's me. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm on the home side here too. I think she's just a better fighter. And other than an armbar early, I think Silva's going to lose this fight. So there's a prop right there. If you think Silva's going to win, you can do submission prop for her or a first round submission. Other than that, I mean, I think Holm does what she usually does. I mean, she was very close to getting Santos out of there, ground and pound. So I think if she does get the knockout, it'll be like a ground and pound kind of thing. Later in the fight, like 4 or 5. But I mean, I would probably play decision just because the track record's there. But plus 3,500 or more, it's worth a little bit of dough right there. And then also play the decision just in case.
Makes sense to me. How about you, Tyler?
Dude, Mike, we are on the same page tonight, brother. The round 5 KO TKO for Holly Holm is like plus 3,500 or whatever. Dude, I'm all over that. I think she puts her out in the 5th round because I think, first off, I haven't bet it yet. Probably will now. But I bet 5 units on Holly Holm like a week and a half ago because I saw the line. I was like, yeah, Holly Holm's going to destroy this poor woman. So might as well. The only place in this entire fight that Mayra Bueno Silva is better is jiu-jitsu from her back. Yeah. I think from the top, maybe not particularly jiu-jitsu, but Holly Holm's better on top for control, staying safe, things like that. Mayra Bueno Silva has to be on her back with Holly Holm in her guard to win this fight, by my estimate. Unless she like catches her with like a liver kick or something. I mean, that'll drop anybody. But Holm should win this fight. Like 99 times out of 97 times out of 100. We'll give a couple. Holm's probably win this fight. And I do think that plus 3,500 for the 5th round TKO, I'm all over that. Now you can, like Johnny said, you can play both. You can play the decision and the TKO 5th round because it probably is one of those two. I don't know about the round 4. I think Bueno Silva is going to be able to hang on a little bit through round 4. So I like Holly Holm in round 5 TKO as one of the juicier spots on the card. So that's mine right there. Plus 3,500 Holly Holm round 5 TKO.
Let's go. Great minds think alike. Fools never differ. We're one of those, Tyler.
That's right.
But all right, guys. So that's 13 fights now. We went through all the props. Now we're going to talk about our 3 favorites, and then we're going to get to the star of the show, the Yam Bags. So, Johnny, why don't you give us your 3 favorite props first?
Oh, man. I didn't write them down. I'm trying to remember them. So I like the Nunes under fight with Dudakova. I think that's at plus 110. I think that's a solid bet for both sides. Obviously, the Terrence McKinney fight, you can go a whole bunch of different ways, but I love the under 1.5. And the other one I would maybe consider doing, and I probably will, like I got talked into doing this, the Norma Dumont knockout. I'm not gonna lie. I actually, you guys did it for me because I'm super high on Norma in this fight. She was my first bet of the card when I was doing it. So usually my first and second bets, like I'm super confident in. So I'll do that one. How about that?
Heck
Let's go. How about you, Tyler?
Okay, so I know that I said that the NAM and Maxim under is free money. It is. Don't get me wrong. It's free money. But because it's still got a little minus in front of it, it's not going to be one of my 3 best. It is free money, but it's not one of my best. My best, Holly Holm, round 5, KO, TKO.
There you go.
Love it. Obviously, Norma Dumont, KO, TKO plus 1,000. That one's hitting. I don't understand how it can't. It's just going to hit.
You guys are talking me into that so hard.
Dude, it's getting there. And when it does, I'm going to lose my mind. And the last one for so the Yambag one would be, so I'm not going to give it. So I got another one. I got a backup. I'm going to go the draw in the Bogdasarian Lutz fight because when I said that, because like I didn't even have that until this stream started. When I said that, I was like, man, that's a good one. I'm playing that. So I'm gonna play that one after the stream ends too. I think it might be a draw. So the draw, we got the Holm 5th round knockout, and we got the Dumont knockout. All of them are way over plus 1,000. Well, Norma Dumont's plus 1,000, but all of them are 4 digits.
I was about to say, you were truly built for this show. You just gave out 3 plus 1,000 or more props. I love it.
We got to have me on here every week. No, not every week. Next time.
But yeah, so for me, I'm going to go with the NAM Maxim under 2.5. I like that one a lot. I'm going to go with Costa sub. I think it's really overlooked, and I'm going to hit that one. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make it 3 for 3 with Dumont by knockout at plus 1,200.
Free money.
Let's fucking go. We're crazy out here, but hey.
We are getting crazy.
There's some logic there. There's some logic.
There is.
Because there's 2 ways she can do it. She can do it on the feet because Chelsea's
and the ground.
Freaking sloppy. And she can do it on the ground, I think. But
definitely. It hit.
Knock on wood, Tyler. You're making me knock on wood the whole show.
Man, gamblers are so superstitious. I'm the least superstitious person
so
on the
superstitious,
planet.
Dude.
That's so funny.
Like
I walked under a ladder yesterday. Nothing bad happened.
Peter Yan is one of my favorite fighters. I've disowned him since then. But on my birthday, he fought Corey Sanhagen, and I had a bunch of people at my house. Everybody was talking about Yan winning. I told everybody, shut the fuck up. Nobody's talking during this fight, and definitely don't talk to me. And I sat in the corner, and I just sat there watching. I'm so superstitious when it comes to fighting and betting. But why don't we get to the star of the show? Let's talk some yam bags. Johnny, start us off. What's your yam bag play of the week?
So, unfortunately, my yam bag of the week was canceled. I really wanted to do that one because that's sloppy heavyweight fights all day. So, I was looking through here. I'm going to go a little... I want to say rogue here. Maybe I'm not. Maybe not. But let me find it if I can even find it. I'm going to go the Tucker Lutz Melsick fight. I think there's going to be a lot of kicks. Yep, a lot of kicks from Melsick. Can hit the nuts a couple times, get a draw, and he doesn't really handle being taken down very well. So a fence grab can happen from him when Lutz tries to take him down close to the fence. And maybe some eye pokes from Lutz or Melsick. I think it happens. Like there's everything that can happen, more so on the Melsick side. But he's a very good striker, though. Don't get me wrong. But he throws a ton of kicks. He doesn't like getting taken down, and maybe some eye pokes will happen if he's trying to keep at range.
Yam bag breakdowns are so funny to me. It's
there you
go. We're actually applying logic to point deductions. Incredible. But Tyler, how about you, man?
Guys, I know you wanted a yam bag, but fellas, I've got a clam bag for you. We got Ashley Evans Smith and Aileen Perez. We're getting the clam bag special on this one. I can see it on either side, okay? Aileen Perez has been disqualified before. She had points taken before it. Totally could happen. I could see an Ashley Evans Smith saying, like, this girl's pressure is relentless. She's driving me up against the fence, grabbing that cage. She is tall. She could reach up on top. She could grab the fence. Or just being like, hey, I need a break. This girl's on me. Poke her in the eye real quick or kick her in the clam. I'm going to say that one's the one we get the point deduction on. We got Ashley Evans Smith, Aileen Perez, clam bag. That's the special.
I like that one too.
Kick her in the clam. Yeah, you totally just stole mine. I'm also, in terms of a yam bag, I think Perez is always live to lose a point. Yeah. I mean, the Tamiras Vidal fight, she was winning, got disqualified because she's an absolute dummy. I think she pulled like 3 fouls in a row there. But just to be a little different, change it up, if I had to pick a different one, I think I would go with, honestly, the Zaitar Prado fight. Because if we get out of round 1, it's going to be an absolute shit show. And then I think we might be live for some fence grabs, maybe a nut shot. Who even knows? I just feel like if we get out of round 1, it's going to be so disgusting that it'll definitely be live. But in terms of like my favorite yam bag, it's Perez Smith. I think. Yeah. I have a feeling like Smith has been out for so long. She'll probably be a wreck as the fight continues, and then Perez is just. I don't know how to describe her. She's a mad woman, so I kind of feel like she's gonna lose a point here. So if I did bet a yam bag special, it would be on the Perez Smith fight personally. Hopefully, for my first show hosting this show, we'll hit the yam bag. That would be pretty cool.
One of us, that'd be fantastic.
Make Lou proud. That's the goal. Make Lou proud.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's a show, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, listening to our madness. You literally watched us talk about Dumont by knockout for this long. So thank you for bearing with us and our madness. Appreciate you guys all. Appreciate Johnny. Appreciate you, Tyler, for coming on. I'll let you guys plug yourselves in a second. I'll go first real quick. So I'm Mike at CouchWarrior Pod. That's my channel. That's my Twitter. If you want to see my personal breakdowns, that's where you're going to go. I went live with... Jesus Christ, why do I not remember my own guest? Newsome MMA. He's the guy behind the Tape Index, if you guys don't know. He's actually really sharp, owns his own MMA gym. It was really dope to break down fights with him. And then tomorrow I'll be going live with Propaholic for Twitter Spaces. We're also going to talk props for Prop Talk. And I'm going to put out my YouTube shorts, maybe a few of them tonight and probably most of them tomorrow. But that's what I got going on. Johnny, thanks for coming on as always, brother. Why don't you plug yourself and we'll move on to Tyler.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. I always appreciate it. You can follow me at JohnnyKpicks on Instagram, Twitter, and the YouTubes. I just put out my breakdown video for UFC Vegas77 the other day, so check that out. Tomorrow, me and Blood Money MMA Bets do our live show every Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then Saturday, we will also do a pre-fight live show breaking down all of our bets with a couple special guests every week. We always do that. So definitely check me out. And yeah, see you then.
All right. One day I got to get on that Saturday show, Johnny. Literally never available on Saturday.
Yes, you let me know and we will jump you right in that Saturday show.
I'll hit you up. But Tyler, how about you, brother? Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it big time. And we are definitely going to do a show on my channel if you're willing.
We're definitely going to. I'm all about it, especially if we line up like we did tonight. That's legit right there.
After you said Dumont knockout.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, Tapology, whatever. Anything you can find 138 MMA, I'm there. I'm that. So also, you can find me on patreon.com/138MMA, where I give you access to all of my notes. I've got a Patreon parlay for you, as well as my picks rated with confidence on there. It's only $10 for the best stuff. You can get some other stuff for lower cost. But yeah, 138 MMA on YouTube is the place you need to be. If you're not subscribed to that, you're missing out on the finest breakdowns on all of YouTube. I'll see you guys there.
Hell yeah. All right, guys.
He has a whiteboard, by the way.
I got a whiteboard. I'm Professor 138 MMA. I've been laying into the gimmick.
The whiteboard is so lit.
You always have to sell that. Always sell that, Tyler.
Yo, it's legit, guys. Like we've spent our whole lives growing up in a classroom looking at our teachers teaching us from a whiteboard. How do you think the best way for us to learn is? Somebody standing in front of a whiteboard talking through notes. Well, guess what? That's what I'm there for, guys. It worked for me as a kid. I got through school without really having to do a whole lot because I looked at the teacher while they were on the board. Here we go. I'm doing it now as a professor of MMA.
You guys know that meme where it's I forget his fucking name from Always Sunny, and he's like doing like all the there's all the strings and
Charlie.
Stuff. Yeah, Charlie. I feel like that's you breaking down the Dumont knockout just on the whiteboard.
It might be. I wish I had a better
strings attaching. You're like
math equations.
Oh, it's awesome. You need to watch that show.
Yeah, someday. All I ever watch is fights, honestly. I'm like not even kidding when I say that. Like I literally just watch fights.
That's funny.
Feel you there. But all right, guys, thank you all for tuning in. We won't keep you any longer. Peace out. Good luck and have a good one.
Good luck.